All right. Good morning. Good morning. It is bright and early, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I want to thank those of you who have made it into the room, both the virtual room and our room here at Commerce Club ATL. So for those of you, I think almost every one of you that are here know that I'm Patrice Davis, CEO of GrantWorks. GrantWorks is hosting this summit, and we're really, really happy that you all, of course, woke up early to, participate in the summit. I do want to briefly say a few words before we have Dr. Robert Nobles come up, and of course I'm going to introduce Dr. Nobles. Very well accomplished, knows quite a bit about grants, especially grants that fund both research and non-research activities at universities. So on my way in, I actually was thinking quite a bit about the fact that it was in January of 2020 that I started GrantWorks. I decided to leave my full-time position, start a consulting firm, because I knew that there were people, organizations that would be interested in understanding how to manage these government grants, not just how to manage them, but of course how to obtain them and then how to manage them. And back then, many of the organizations that received these large federal grants were organizations that had, the budgets to hire a person like me. So these were typically universities, large nonprofits, and some, yes, medium-sized nonprofits. But for the most part, the funds went to the same institutions. And I think all of you can attest to that. It's typically the larger institutions that have the resources to hire people with my expertise, or those of you that are in the room. And as a result, a lot of smaller emerging organizations were losing out. Now, one of you, if you subscribe to my newsletter, the GrantWorks newsletter, I'm always talking about how it wasn't until, how as a result of being a grant manager, I've managed grants that funded housing programs that helped people who had HIV/AIDS get off the streets. I've managed grants that funded infectious disease programs in different parts of the world, managed grants that, of course, provided youth development and youth mentoring programs. And as a result, I truly believe that grants work. It's just a matter of being able to tap into that funding. So I just wanted to start out by letting you all know where this started, why I started, and I'm really committed to figuring out a way to make sure that we can get this out, this information, this expertise out to more organizations. I'll end by saying that I went to a summit, actually. It was a launch event by a large organization in Chicago, but it's an organization that also received its first federal grant this year. And the name of that organization is Blacks in Green. And this organization received a large EPA grant, and it was a TICTAC grant. I forgot what the TICTAC stands for. I think it's Technical Assistance Center or something, Technical Assistance Center. And there were hundreds of people in the room, and many of them were just so eager for the opportunity to learn how to tap into this funding, because to a lot of people it's very ethereal, it's very vague, and so they don't know where to begin. So I want to let you all know, those of you that are in the room and those of you that are online, that they can't hear?
Nothing.
Or see? Okay. That I'll repeat some of this later when they're able to get back on. That this is something I am committed to. Our firm is going to do what we can to get the word out. We're certainly, of course, going to continue to serve our clients, but find other ways to have a larger platform to make sure that emerging organizations that are doing excellent work on the ground have an opportunity to tap into these federal grants. So I'll leave it there, but I do want to make sure that we introduce, and I want to make sure we fix this issue before we have Dr. Robert Nobles come on, because he's actually going to be providing a little bit more insight on why it's important that we tap into federal grants and really be able to expand community impact. So definitely want to make sure this is something we're able to address before we introduce Dr. Nobles. So I'm going to see if someone on our team can get someone from IT to make sure that the folks online can hear Dr. Nobles. So when he comes up, everyone can actually participate and hear the great things that he has to say. Okay? But I do thank you all for coming out, and please grab something else to eat and grab some coffee. I know I'm going to be grabbing some coffee myself. All right, thank you.